Yo, welcome back. Whatever blows your hair back. Today on set, in the studio, we have Juan, who is the owner of Arepa George right here in Chicago. One of the best Colombian restaurants in Chicago. What do you think?
Dude, what's this? That's money, dude. What is this sauce?
That's that pink sauce, baby. Tune in right now. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever blows your hair back. Get your
All right, so here we are today. We have the pleasure, one of my really good friends in Chicago and business owner. He owns a Colombian restaurant in Chicagoland in Humble Park called Arepa George. And with us, we have one of my really good friends, Juanjo.
Hi guys.
So Juanjo opened up his restaurant. How long have you been with the restaurant?
We have been open officially since 2017.
2017, and
That was a good year.
2017 was a good year for
It was
you?
a good year for me.
Yeah, what
My
happened in
best year.
2017?
My biggest year in construction of restaurant design and build.
There you go. So
And I didn't even know what we were going to talk. But yeah, 2017, I had 6-7 builds going on at one time. Goose Island, Anheuser-Busch. I can't even remember them all.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there was a lot of them.
So 2017, and you're from, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Colombia. I came here in 2016
To Chicago?
To Chicago.
From Colombia?
from Colombia.
Okay, cool. And your family, like, they're all from Colombia? Your family's all living here?
Yeah, so my dad lives in Colombia, my mom lives in Chicago, and I live here with my sister and now my fiance as well. And
Nice. So tell us, where'd you go to school?
okay, so I went to school in Iowa for computer science and mathematics, and graduated, and I started working for consulting, data analyst, and then I became a teacher after.
A
What
teacher?
teacher? What
Yeah,
type of
I
teacher?
did. I was a math teacher, but I had
Yeah?
endorsements in ESL, social science, Spanish. Like I did it all. I went to school for like 6.5
You
years.
just good at, were you like good at all the subjects?
Yeah, and I loved it. I loved learning, and I was like, hey, let's keep learning.
Let's teach the
Yeah,
students.
and about I'd say like 8 years ago, in 2016. I was working as a teacher, but one of my
Yeah.
friends from New York came over, and we were talking about like businesses and stuff, and we were just like sitting down in my bed, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna open a restaurant, and we were where
Just like that?
just like that. I created the EIN number. And
It's that
everything
easy.
right
I
there.
tell people we got to do that for free
And,
for you.
And then I was like, okay, and let's start.
That is the first step,
And
believe it or not.
literally, like,
So there was no inspiration behind it to just like...
no, we created the restaurant with like my mom was the main chef
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time.
Oh,
But
so
we
she
were
was...
like always like selling food from home. We started from Colombia. We were selling tamales.
Oh, you already in the
Wow.
game. You already had a
Yeah,
process.
so we already had our
a menu.
customers too. Yeah.
Oh, you just
It has
finally...
been a learning process. You know, I didn't know anything about restaurants until later on. I was planning everything.
Yeah.
And so we started selling, when I was teaching, we would sell empanadas on the weekend. We would sell 1,000 on Saturday, 1,000 on Sunday. And I was like, hey, maybe we can make this a business. you know?
Yeah, that's a
And
lot
we
of
did
income.
it. We did it for a few months, you know.
Where would you get your supplies from when you make that many already? Like
from regular stores, and we literally sit at home and make the empanadas by hand and everything. And at one point, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just buy an empanada machine so we don't have to like
Keep making
First
them by
step,
hand.
yeah, get it easy.
Funny story. It makes 1,000 empanadas per hour. So
Oh,
we didn't
damn.
know how to use it. So we're only using we started using it about 2 months ago, just the pressure, so we don't have to keep pressuring the masa
Yeah.
anymore, the dough.
Nice.
But we don't
Oh,
use
now
it
you use it
fully.
to do- oh,
yeah.
okay.
So we're using it halfway to make the empanadas because that's how we started the business, and we're very picky on how.
So it's not, you didn't get the quality, so quality control came,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
the
a quality-
machine got us this, it'll let us
Yeah.
pack it,
Yeah.
but it's
But it
not
wasn't
giving us a
quality.
finished product.
Yeah, so we make the finished
Pain in the
product by
ass.
hand because it
looks better.
It looks better, and,
Yeah.
and we just Yeah.
Machine trimmed wheat versus hand trimmed.
We
wheat.
make the empanadas with the machine, with the
Better.
arepas with the machine. We make 1,000 arepas and we make enough arepas for the whole.
What is it? Is it the hand? You just there's something about the hand. You get the
It's the
get to
pressure. You
seal.
have to go like that and go like this, and you finish there. the empanada.
To make it look nice and round.
No, to make it
nice.
because I've ate
Because
to
if-
keep
Moon
it
shape.
puffy. To keep
Yeah,
it puffy too.
because if you make it with the machine, it just look like
like a
doesn't
made with
look
machine.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It's
doesn't
not-
yeah,
like
it doesn't
handmade.
look.
you got to get the
look.
crimp
And
in.
handmade cells. Handmade cells.
Yeah.
So this is when did you buy the machine though?
So
2016
I bought it.
or?
I bought it in 2000, late 2016.
What's machine cost?
And this was
The machine cost $6,000.
$6,000. How you hooking it up? What kind of electricity you running? 'Cause you
It-
run out of
it
your house.
runs- So it runs in.
so initially you
2.0.
were running out of your house, right?
No, so I bought it. Okay, this is the funny story. So I bought it, and then I was like, oh, shoot, I just spent $6,000. So now I really have to open a restaurant.
Oh shit! So now
No, that's part of the thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you do it so you own it. Like I have
So
to do this now.
I bought it.
basically you were working out of your house and you were like, now I have this big piece of machine. Now I gotta fucking do a restaurant.
So I started with the machine. Then I bought the tables. Then I bought the refrigerators. Then I bought
and where'd
the
you put all
pots.
this
Where'd
shit?
you put it all?
So in my room. So I used to
Oh, you
live-
started collect. You didn't hook
so-
anything
so-
up yet. You started collecting
You
things.
started
I started
collecting stuff in your
collecting-
room?
So I
At
started
your mom's
collecting
house?
Afford it.
so I lived in my mom's basement for a while after college, just
Yeah.
saving up money to open up the restaurant. And literally, I could like barely walk to my room because there was so much. I had a restaurant inside of my my mom's basement and my room.
I love this fucking
You know?
So you were
story.
cooking in it, but you weren't. You bought equipment that you couldn't
I bought
use because you
equipment,
couldn't hook that
yeah.
equipment up in your house because that's a lot of power draw on a machine that costs that
Yes.
much. It probably came. I don't know. And
Yeah, it
there's
came in
certain
like
rules
a-
to where you can cook and stuff. I
Yeah,
think.
it was
Health code.
it was too big, and they didn't give me a hard time. I was like, "Can I keep all this stuff here?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So eventually, I talked to her, and it was a hard decision to leave my job to open the restaurants because I was teaching, and whenever you get a paycheck coming
Yeah.
to you, you know, you get scared of leaving your job. And one day, I was probably working more of what I'm working now, and I work a lot. So I was waking up at like 4 in the morning. I took a job in Englewood in Chicago to make a little bit more money to be able to open the restaurant. And I was like, you know what, I'll do it, you know, and see how it goes. And I would wake up at like 4 in the morning and go to sleep at 12 or 1.
That's how it. No,
you
that's
know?
that's his owning a business. That's
Yeah.
That's not just your business. That's
Yeah, but
any business
I
owner.
was working for somebody else, you
Oh,
know.
oh,
at
oh.
the time, like
thought you
before
quit-
I
oh, you
opened
didn't
it.
quit him and then.
No, so at that time I was still working, and then
So yeah, you're
Um,
double working.
3 months before I opened, I was looking for locations through Chicago, and all I wanted to do was catering. You know,
Because you didn't need it. You didn't need a home base.
like I didn't want to. My goal was to just find companies that will buy me, you know, food to sell for the day. Like let's see, 700,
You
1,000.
didn't want to go through all the people dining in and creating.
yeah, I didn't want to do that. And I was like, let's do that, and then we just get the customers, deliver them the food, and then be done for the day. And next day you do the same thing, and so on.
Did you have a
and so on.
website? How were
I
you getting
do.
your customers in the beginning?
Yeah, so that's a great story. So when we opened, so when I went to get I started the restaurant from scratch, like literally.
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
And literally, when I went to get the license with the city of Chicago, they were like, "All right, so since you want a catering license, it's going to be $3,000." I was like, $3,000? I was like, I don't have that. I already paid for all this stuff. I don't have any
That's
money.
how it is.
You know?
Yeah, you don't have
Taxing you,
$3,000.
dude.
You know, I was
Nonstop.
like, okay. I was
Another
like,
wall,
he
another
said-
wall, had
He said,
fun.
like, can I do something now? And can I get a different license and do catering? I'm like, oh yeah, you can open a dining restaurant and that will be $500. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
do
how-
dining.
Incentivize.
That's
It's-
how-
it's a little harder to do than you go occupy a space. So they
Yeah.
incentivize that. I see what
Yeah,
they're doing there.
so-
Yeah, they're incentivizing
So
men
I
to
went
take up a space in
and
the
I
city.
got the
To take you out of to not let you work out of your house like you want to, they're going to charge you more money. Then now they're making you go rent instead. That's actually a good move. That's a good move if the city did that.
and
If you understand what I'm trying to
I was able to get a great location where I wanted because I wanted to be close to downtown.
Yeah, they pushed
But
you into that
only-
decision.
I only 15 minutes away. Like I thought about like logistically to get to the companies that we wanted to deliver
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And then when we opened, I was like, okay, great, we opened. I was like, okay, catering customers. How do we get in touch with them? So I got too busy with the restaurant, like people coming in, coming out. So we didn't do that much catering until there was a big construction in front of the restaurant for like 8 months.
Shut you down, basically. Right?
Basically, they were doing the water main,
Oh
Did
no.
they
and there was
you
a
anything,
problem with
anything
the
with
gas, so they couldn't build anything until the gas people came and literally have to rip the entire thing. That when like 6 months after we opened, I felt like people were coming into the restaurant because they were probably feeling bad. They were like, "Oh, is this?" The food was delicious.
Keep the change, man. It don't look like you're doing something. Yeah, just pity buying you.
There was like a bulldozer in France, like literally in front of the restaurant, and people like walked by and were like, "Oh, there's a restaurant here."
So hold on, tell us the first let's say you finally
It was
got
a real problem.
All right, so let's say you get your location, and tell us about like how that process happened.
So
of when you got your location.
So I saved enough money for like 2 years. I was like, okay, if I get $40,000, I can go and I got loans too. I got like a $30,000 loan, and I was like, okay, with this I should be able to like open the
What
restaurant.
type of loan did you get?
I got like a personal loan.
So the personal loan, so it wasn't an ABA loan?
No, it was a personal loan. So
They
I was
didn't
working
ask
as a
you-
teacher, and I was able to like prove.
That's why. All right, there's the loan that
everything.
you got. There you got a home
Yeah.
loan. You got okay.
Yeah,
You're
so
a teacher,
I
you had
got a
your
loan,
stuff.
and I was able to like save enough money that I felt comfortable leaving my job.
But thankfully you
and-
had a teaching job. Otherwise, you would never been able to get that loan.
Yeah. And then I told myself, with this, I will have to open the restaurant in June to start paying the loan. And then we literally everything went as planned, and we opened in June.
So you got the loan in what date? Like what month?
We got the loan in. I got the loan in like around December.
Okay, in December, and then so you had December.
And then I
January.
looked for a while for a location, and I was researching.
Is that why you asked me about location? Like how to
Yeah.
find it?
Yes. I actually found the location through Craigslist. The location was there. It didn't have no like rental or anything. I just found it, and I went and I saw it.
So it wasn't even
And,
for rent.
It was for rent, but it wasn't advertising it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
So I was able to get in contact with the landlord, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll rent it for you. It's gonna be a lot of work." He was a great guidance
You
to
would
me.
sound like a good landlord that would rather see
Work
you
with- yeah,
succeed in there instead of seeing it just be a dump.
So you walk in there, and what's your first impression?
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Why?
like-
What was it?
It was so bad. Everything was like dirt everywhere. I felt like the restaurant that was there before, they literally just, I don't know, they
Just
messed
never
the
showed
whole-
up after a day of work
like,
one time.
Yeah, they were like, we're closing, and
They were fucking
trashed the
everything
place.
up.
And I was like, oof, okay, this is not hot. I was like,
Nothing
I thought it was
worked.
gonna be. I walked in there, and I thought I was gonna walk in there and then out. I was like, thank you. But then you know what? I really liked the location because it was close. I wanted
It's
to
all
be
about
close
the
to
location.
downtown.
It's all about location.
And a lot of people tell me like, oh, but you should make it bigger. You're growing so fast, but it's not that simple.
It's not that simple with a
It's-
restaurant.
So then it's a shitty place. So why did you stay? Just because of location?
I loved the location, and I had a feeling.
Yeah, you had a vision.
I had a vision, and I was like, you know what? I think I can make it here, and
So how'd you get the place like up,
So
and
I-
running? Like,
so
what
after I
happened?
got it, we had a family friend that told us like, hey, if you ever rent a place to make a restaurant, don't worry, I'll hook you up, and I come and I'll fix it for you. So as
The
soon as I
contractor
got,
guy.
as soon as I got the lease, I contacted him like, hey, I'm ready. Can you like help me start
fixing
this place? And he came to me and he was like, oh, yeah, but I can do it in a month from now because I'm busy doing another job. And I was like, oh man, like, I don't really have a month. Like I need to like start. This was in May, and I need to open in June because I need to start paying these loans because I'm running out of money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my stepdad, that he was very thankful, really very helpful. He had a friend, so he told me, oh, contact my friend, and he'll help you. So I called him, and he was like, oh, you know what? I'm really busy, stuck in another job, but call this person, and he can help you out. So I called him, and he was like, hey, and can you can you help me, to do the restaurant? He was like, oof, a restaurant. He was like, never done a restaurant, but I can help you. He came and he was like, when he saw it, he was like, oof, this is gonna be a tough one. And he did it in under 2 weeks.
I'd like to see some pictures if we got
He
any.
came-
I'd like
Yeah,
to
did
see
you
them.
take before and after pictures?
I think I have like one. I have more after
Yeah,
than before.
Yeah, for sure.
But because the before ones were they were so bad that
You didn't want to look at that.
you were like,
Yeah.
there's no light. I can barely, it was so
Couldn't
bad.
take a picture. Yeah, no
it
light.
was bad. I can show you the restaurant that was there before, and you can see how it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
imagine seeing it like that, and then
You probably kept the same layout.
Did you keep the same layout?
at the beginning, so I wanted to make it like very homey, so it was like great, everything was great, but then the space was a little bit dark, and I was like, okay, I need more light. So in 2020 when COVID hit, the first week, we had no customers, and I didn't want to like lay off my employees, so I had my whole staff paint the restaurant while we were open. Like we closed the section and then we painted it and then we painted another.
I think a lot of businesses did that, built their infrastructure.
And yes, but going back,
Well, yeah. Let's go back because I want to ask you. I want to go ask you like because this is like the biggest moment for everyone, all us as business owners too. Like the first day you open the doors, what was that day like? Like what were you expecting?
so on the
And then first tell us
so
what you
the-
were expecting before you open it, and then tell us the reality of what happened actually when you opened.
So when we first opened, so I was up until like 3 in the morning because the guy that was supposed to put the stickers on the sign was too busy, and he told me, "Don't worry, we'll you have it on your first day." So he finally came at like 2-3 in the morning to install everything. I was freaking out. I was like, "How am I gonna open if I don't have a sign? I don't have nothing on the windows. It's just like
That's how it is, man. That's how it is.
not a restaurant. It's
Yeah.
just like
It's just
you
a
know,
space.
It's
Yeah,
just a restaurant inside, but outside there's nothing.
I know how
And the
it is.
guy literally pulled through at like 3 in the morning. We finished everything, and we were thinking of opening at 9. Like we were gonna do like 9 to like 8 to do breakfast and do all those things. And I had a lot of my friends that work in the financial sector and everything. They supported me. A lot of people came and we wanted to do a soft opening. A lot of our friends came but they came at 9. We were still not done cooking. At the time I was like, okay, we're gonna open at 11, so that's why we're opening at 11 because it was too hard to take off, to cook.
That's how it
to
all
prep,
runs
to-
at events in the first days.
you know,
you feel like
and we
pressure.
had friends that literally showed up and they were sitting down in the restaurant and were like, it has to be perfect, and a lot of her friends did showed up. A lot of people that were supposed to come, they told me like, hey, I'll be there. I'll be the first one. They still haven't come. I'm still waiting for them.
I'm still waiting for the people that's supposed to
It's
come to
been
a lot of
5
my
years.
parties too.
They live 2 blocks away, or like 2 miles down.
Hey guys,
and
if you're watching this,
I'm still waiting
you know
for-
who you are. You're
I'm
fucking.
still waiting
we're
for
still
you to
waiting for
come.
your ass. Yeah.
you told me you were gonna come. I'm still waiting for you. One day.
So anyways, so it was a pretty good show out the first.
Yeah.
first-
So I had experience working. So after I quit, I worked at Fogo de Chao for a little bit to get experience. And
Fogo de Chao?
I worked
Yeah.
at Fogo de Chao because I like the dynamic. I like how.
You hadn't worked at a restaurant to learn?
Yes. I literally
Just to
worked
learn for a minute.
Yeah, I went and applied because I used to speak a little bit of Portuguese, and
Yeah.
I was like, hey, maybe I get a good chat over here, because I never worked in a restaurant, you know how it was, and I was like, hey, I was a boss boy, and I really liked it. I learned a lot, and when they were building the restaurant for the 2 weeks that it took, I went to Mexico, and I really liked how I was taken care of there, like. They treat me as a king. I was like, every person that comes to my restaurant, I'm gonna treat you as a king.
Because you want them to feel, you want your patrons to feel that way.
And that's what I do every time. I love taking care of my customers. I love being in the kitchen. I love when you own your own business. Like I want to do it all,
Yeah, I
And when I'm there, and when my waiters are there, I want everybody to feel they're a king. I want them to be taken care of very well.
Yeah.
That's good.
So then, you open up, and then how's the evolution to what how was like the phases, the seasons of the restaurant? Like, it was good at first. What was the hardest moment where you were like, I don't know if we're gonna make it?
So when I opened, it was good, but we didn't know what we were doing. So we were doing like soft openings. We didn't do a grand opening at the beginning, and every month, I would tell people we're gonna do a grand opening next week, and they'll come and I'll tell them sorry, but we couldn't do it this week. We're gonna do it the next week, and they will still come the next week, and it was like that for a while.
But I know there's a difference between what's a grand and soft opening. Significant difference.
The soft opening, it's kind of like you telling your friends of friends that you're
so
open.
Little mini parties.
Yeah. And then people that walked in were like, hey, there's a restaurant that'll come in, and we were learning. We were making the juices, how to. So when we opened, I only had a refrigerator, just one refrigerator. Now we have like 15.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the space for a walk-in cooler, so I have to like play around with the space and.
That's a lot of electricity too.
Oof.
What's your electrical bill?
Close to $1,000 a month.
That's high, yeah.
It's really expensive.
Considering the size of the space, it's pretty high, yeah.
Because
What's your square footage?
It's 1,500.
That's pretty high.
It's very small, but we also use an outdoor. We built a shed, and then we had more refrigerators in there, like a big shed, and then we had to, because the restaurant became small to us, so we had to like get more space. So we built a shed, and we kept growing the shed on the sides.
Yeah.
Do you think you've outgrown the space yet?
Yes, we did.
For sure.
A long time ago.
So
Because I'll show up sometimes. I mean, in the winter, I'll show up to eat. There won't be no seats. There were no tables.
What do you do? Do you leave that?
The summer is perfect.
Do you leave that one open and go start another one, or do you move that one into a bigger space and expand?
No,
one?
I think I'll leave that one there and I'll open another one, but I want to open them small like that. I like
you
that
do you
cozy.
want to make them small?
Yeah, I want to make them small. I don't want to make them too big because it doesn't feel the same. Like when you go to a big restaurant, it feels different when you come into my restaurant.
Okay.
And it's more expensive too to run them.
So then, what was it like? When was that point? Like I said, like when was that point where you thought that things were gonna work out?
So after we opened, literally 6 months later after we opened the restaurant, the construction started, and it was there for like 9 months.
They didn't give you a heads up or give you a discount. The city didn't say, "Hey, we ruined your business."
I was hoping for the city workers to come. They'll come from time to time, just to tell me they were shutting out the water. I was like, okay.
Come on, city workers, we're calling you out too. Why didn't
please
you go to the
stop
fucking
by?
restaurant?
If you're making a construction, stop by at the locations that
you're shutting down.
Because you're ruining their business.
You're really affected. So
and the city, we're gonna. Did the city take care of you guys at all or no?
Not at all.
The city,
not at all.
The city, we're calling you out here too on this channel because it's not fair that you're doing this to the business.
It was very hard, and I remember we'll go through the whole day, and so when we started, because of that construction, dude, it was so sad. We'll make $80 the entire day.
No way.
The entire day we'll make $80. And sometimes I will go in the bathroom crying. Like, I'm a math person, so I was still optimistic. I was like, okay, I make this, that, and then on the weekend we're making 360, and okay, we'll break even, and I'll pull some numbers, and you know what? I wasn't.
No, you never.
And then I was like,
and this is almost for a year, dude.
Holy guacamole, like. It was tough. So.
Yeah, man. That's what. So we interviewed a homeless guy. That's what he spends on. That's what he spends on heroin in a day.
He
$80.
$80 a day on heroin.
You guys weren't even making that. You guys weren't even making his addiction.
I was really optimistic. I don't. It's really hard for me to keep up on something, and I was like, you know what? It's gonna get better.
How much is an empanada?
Right now it's $2.50.
That's a good price for an empanada. That's a quick meal, man. That gets you home. $2.50 for a quick
people are
meal.
spending probably $10 getting 4 of them from you.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, it's quick $10. But
that's
listen,
only like 30 empanadas or whatever. Like you're selling at $80. So That's probably you only were having like 6 customers at that, or maybe a big order, and it's just not good.
No, it wasn't because there was literally no one passing because the
The construction.
Uber Eats
the
wasn't
construction.
Uber Eats wasn't around.
Yeah, but the drivers wouldn't make it because there was literally the road was closed. It was
Yeah, but
just,
who would know? No one would know that.
It was
I wouldn't know if I ordered from you on Uber Eats. I wouldn't.
So
know
we
it, no.
started. So this is where the great things started happening. So after I worked with the numbers every time for like a few months, I was like, how are we gonna do this? Because I couldn't keep it open for.
Couldn't
It wasn't
sustain
sustainable.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
Not
sustainable. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I'm gonna have to close it. But then I was like,
There's
what
a way.
about if we start partnering it up with other companies and start selling? And I started moving some things around. And before I partnered up with one of our main partners, which is Fuda, I got a catering for $3,000 with the University of Chicago.
Ooh, University of Chicago.
Oh my
Saved
God!
us.
They
Saved
saved us.
30 grand, 60 bucks
So-
a
so
day.
literally-
Hey,
so
this is
that's
gonna
no
be a
free-
good shout out for University of Chicago.
So
man.
thank
guys
you,
shaved that
thank
up our
you,
door.
thank you so
How'd they
much.
find you?
So we had their students will come in, and like on the weekend,
No, I don't know.
and they were like, "Hey, do you guys cater?" And they were like, "Yeah,
We
that's what we
want.
want
Don't
to do."
fucking do anything.
Yeah, at that
what do you need? What do you need?
And what is it called? And we were like, "Yeah, of course. Oh, we're catering for like our budget is $3,000."
Back to your original business model too.
Yes.
Back to your original
So,
business model.
The light came in, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do caterings, and we partnered up with a company, and we started selling from Fuda, and we would go to different buildings and everything during that time, and it helped us a lot to come back.
Well,
and
you
then
needed
after
that. You needed that.
so after
$3,000
they
rent.
finished,
So how did you feel when you got paid the $3,000? You were on top of the fucking world.
I
man.
already hadn't spent. I have to pay payroll. I
Oh
have to,
yeah,
like,
but
do
you
all
had a
that.
breath. That's a breath.
Yeah, that was
A
like
light.
oof. But I think that was like the bottom of the bottom.
You were at the bottom of the
So
bottom.
when I would go in the bathroom and cried for like 3 minutes, and then probably in the kitchen, they were like, "Is he okay? Like, okay?"
I laugh because I know what
You
you're
know?
talking about.
And then I would be like, "Look, I'm gonna cry." I'll be like, "Oh, it's so hard, but I don't want to give up. Like I have a good feeling. Like good times are coming.
Yeah.
And literally after that, the road was finished. The
Fucking
World
road was
Cup.
finished.
Hey,
that-
the road, man. They
the
really
road-
fucked you. These
the-
guys don't
the-
even know about
The
they
road
fucked you.
is actually really nice.
Oh.
It was nice.
Yeah, I hope so.
It was nice for like 3 months, and then they started another construction after. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure something out. And
Is there any other
and
businesses
started-
next to you?
There's Roasters Bakery. It's been there for like 125 years.
So did the bakery?
So
like,
the
did
bakery
you guys get
employees will
together?
literally come to get empanadas, and that's how like we sell.
You guys just gave money back and forth.
Yes, and they recommend us too. Like, hey, you're hosting. Hey, try these guys out. They're new. And they did.
The
help
struggle
us
was
out.
real on that block.
Yeah, it was really very 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 tough. That when COVID came, I was like, oh, that's nothing.
So then, yeah. So then, hold on. So then this is the construction's over, and then things start picking up. Again.
Yeah, so when the construction was over, around the World Cup came, so I was like, hey, let's install a TV. Like I still had, like I have to make investments. Like, oh, let's get a TV because I didn't have a TV. Like
For events, so to have people come and
so I had a
watch
TV, and literally the restaurant would get packed and order food and all that stuff. I
Yeah,
was
because
like,
if you're
great.
Colombian and Colombia's in
know?
the World Cup,
It's
And
wanna
like,
go to the
man,
Colombian
only one
restaurant.
Is this a TV purchase away? Flipped it like that?
was that?
Like one TV?
Just
plug
one.
in
It was a
TV?
big. It's a big TV, like a little bit bigger than this
Yeah.
one, and literally, we're having a really good time, and it started picking up, and it's a snowball. So we went from 80 to like 300, and I was like, oh, we're making that on
A
the
day.
weekend a day, and then it went to 400 and 1,000 and so on, and
That's how
and
that.
it becomes a.
And then you catch that $3,000 lick when it's turning that, and then you're
Yes.
like, ooh, there's like 6G.
so then you were feeling good, and then COVID
So
hits,
I was,
right?
I was very, so after it hit the bottom, I started looking at other companies that were doing catering, and we partnered up with Easy Cater, we partnered up with Fuda, we partnered up with a lot of other catering companies, and then I noticed that there was like people are tired of eating Mexican food, eating pizza, eating bagels at work, and it's getting boring, you know. And people
same shit every
like
time.
my friends from the financial sector would tell me like, if you make it here, people will love your food. Your food is delicious. And I started doing some making my menu cater up, or how do you say it, like to be able to cater it.
Yeah, a
Whoa,
catering.
so you didn't have to buy that, but you didn't have to go buy it through the $3,000 catering license.
Yeah,
did you?
so I made it nicely to sell it straight to the companies or sell it to third parties as well.
So you didn't need to have a catering license.
Correct. And that's how we were able to grow. So a huge portion from our sales are from catering, and we partnered up with like hospitals, universities. We became a CPS vendor. We cater to CPS schools. We do it all.
So if you would go back in time and could change your license out, would you spend the $3,000 for the cater and keep what you had going, or would you go make the choice that you did now?
You know what? I really like the connections with the customers, with the
patrons?
community, and everything. So I really
You
like
wouldn't
that. So
change
I wouldn't change it because we have a connection with the community.
Yeah, now, but think about at that moment. Yeah, so I guess at that moment you would have to know.
At the moment, I didn't have the $3,000.
Yeah. But if you did, you would have went that probably, right? If you had the
Yeah.
I
$3,000.
would have a catering company. But I don't know if I would have made it through the stage, because as you have your company, like things change. Like I was focused on catering, but then I had to make a dining restaurant because.
But that's what happens when you do a business. You go after something, and you catch a peripheral, then you're like doing this, and then you just keep following what works.
Yeah.
And you get somewhere. It's not a straight line. It's
I
definitely.
think the benefit of you by default having to go with the restaurant too is that you got to make some really nice connections that led to these accounts. Right?
Yes.
Well, the customers would come in, and then your quality is really what's
So
engaging the catering aspect.
Prioritize quality over time. So I told my cooks, like, I'd rather you spend another 10 minutes on it than taking it out in 3, because we're not a fast food. You know, how you're going to take a steak in 3 minutes?
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you ask for a churrasco or a pork belly, a chicharrón, like, I cannot take it out, and we make it on the spot. We fry it, because if I hold it in a warmer, it's not going to be tasty, it's not going to be crunchy.
Yeah.
So we make everything on the spot.
Yeah.
And people are willing to wait.
I'm willing to wait
when
for that too.
So sometimes when we start, people wait for like 45 minutes, 45 an hour. When we're making things from scratch. You know, like it's hard. Some people
Depending
don't
what they pick on
understand
the
and they
menu,
get mad. It's like order appetizers and
then-
go from there.
yeah.
And now people understand. Like when you go to a restaurant, you have to wait. You know, when it's very busy, it gets very hectic.
Especially if
in
it's
the
made from
kitchen.
scratch. Yeah.
And so you have to wait. In a restaurant, we can make something from like 2 minutes, or we can make something that can take 45 minutes, depending on where you're making.
So then let's go back to the COVID. How hit COVID? That was huge for everybody. So how did that feel? Like you were like, damn, we're finally getting out, and now this
So
shit's happening.
my accountant Akeem, thank you so much for all your help. He has helped me through the way, and he has seen how much we have grown. So we were growing at a 500% rate every year. So the sales were like jumping. And during COVID, it was like our best time. Before COVID, we were like at a peak, best time ever. Some companies were ordering like $15,000 worth of like food.
15,000.
Yeah, we do big caterings.
Damn, that's a big one. Oh, so $3,000 ain't shit to now. You're doing 15K.
Yeah, so it's like
Congrats,
in a day.
man. Them are good numbers.
In a day is
15,000 a day?
5,000. We do like sometimes before 11 we already make the day, like whatever the restaurant
That's a good
makes.
feeling. Is that a good
Go on.
feeling or what?
Yeah,
Is that
it
a good
is.
feeling? And then I'll start doing math problems. Then I'll start doing math problems like, shit, we just made the week before that. And they're like, shit, we made the month today. Like then
you had a day like that where you made the month.
Yeah.
I do the same thing in my head. I'm like, we made the month today. We're good, guys. I ain't gonna be mad the whole week.
So
for
my
you, man.
accountant comes like, "Juan, how are you putting this number? You used to make this in a month. You're making that in a day or in a week."
Yeah,
and
good
it
stuff.
feels awesome.
So COVID hits and you kept that momentum, or
So COVID hits, and it was like we went from like here to like that really hard time. Not like really.
Yeah, you
bad,
said earlier
but like
said
literally
COVID was not nothing compared
Yeah,
to
so-
what you were at.
so
in
it
the
wasn't
beginning.
compared to the
so
road.
for like 3
Yeah.
days.
The road fucked you up.
So for like 3 days, there was like literally nobody. Like everybody was scared, and I would go around, and people were not buying. Like we were like nobody's coming in to the restaurant. Okay, funny story. My friend Noah, he's a chef. He's based in Florida now. I think he lives in Miami, and he cooks for like rich
Like a lot of people moves in Miami
You know, like
now.
a
A lot of
private
people
chef.
live in
And
Miami. Yeah.
so the day before COVID, before they closed the restaurant, now I rented the space to him. And then we were like, hey, this might be like literally the last time we might be open, and you're hosting an event. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine to me. And I was expecting the city to come shut us down.
Yeah,
or
yeah, of course.
something. And I was like, hey, you know what? Close the thing. We're fine. He was charging about like $150, $200 a dish, a ticket to go in. And I was like, that's cool, you know? Like, I helped out, and the videos looked incredible.
Do you hang out during the events when you host, when you let people rent your
I like
restaurant?
it.
Do you hang out?
Yeah, I love it.
I hang
love
out
it.
too.
So
I hang out for sure.
I love helping other people with their businesses.
Yeah.
I like supporting. So if you
Me-
tell me you have an idea or like you want to open your restaurant, I'm like, hey, come in. If you want to start selling from my restaurant, come in. I'll
Me
help
too.
you.
Anything
You know,
to
like,
make
hey,
more money and
you know,
opportunity for people.
Like, hey, let's do it together. You know what I mean? Like I like to help people out.
Like,
you know?
hey, we're closed tonight. We close at midnight. If you want to run a night shift menu, we keep the
I would love
restaurant
to.
going
Hey,
for that many hours.
do it.
Because it's sitting there for
I'll
rent
do it.
anyways. I used to think like that,
Yeah,
but
it's
not
20.
many
It's
people.
20. It's 24/7.
Yeah, you're paying for it 24/7,
Yes.
rent, whatever, using it
And
or not.
so he will host an event almost every Monday, and he will do great.
You gotta have guys like that. I'm
Yeah,
happy
it's-
for them to succeed because they make me succeed with little amount of work. And
I will tell him like, hey, they're doing preparation on this day. They're gonna clean, do this. As long as you wash it, everything, it's fine. And he will do it. And I looked at the cameras. I'm like, hey, you know.
you're doing
going
it.
good,
You're
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
You're
So
doing it
this
good.
isn't. This
Thank
is
you.
like COVID hits that same
So
same week.
COVID hits on that day where the
Yeah.
you know the shutdown, and we went back to like not having sales again. But then we already had contacts with hospitals
Yeah.
and clinics and doing all those.
So you already had these contacts.
Yeah, so I had a lot of hospitals like Cook County, Amita, that were contacting me like, hey, we're having dinners for the.
How do you
the
get your
doctors."
contact with these big guys? I'm just curious. You're a little guy. You're out in, I don't know
I
where the
think
fuck
if
you
you
are.
have quality people, no.
Do you
you
have
know?
people in your neighborhood that work in these in these hospitals and be like, hey, let's support this.
Yes, that's-
and so they're all like, yeah, let's support the business owners during COVID. So they'll put in like a whole hospital
and they did.
order.
They were very. The community was a big thing. So everything that we built prior COVID
Is what made you
it
go
was what
through
made us
the same
go
customers,
through.
the
same
OG
'cause they
customers.
were coming to us. They were literally coming almost every single day or
I
once
used to.
a
I
week.
used to go. I used to go.
They were coming.
Yeah.
They were recommending us like we were the place because
I think
we're
I even
right.
donated a little bit of money to you
Yes,
guys,
you
right?
did.
A couple $100.
Thank you.
Can I
Yeah.
put a
Yeah.
scenario to you? If I walked into your restaurant and I didn't have a mask on, how would you react?
I'll give you one. Or
That's the smartest thing you could say because a lot of people did not fucking do that in the beginning. They just kicked you out.
so we'll give you one. Or bring you the food out. So
Yeah.
we're
2
partnered up.
options, yeah.
Did
So
you
one
get
of those
hostile with people?
Oh, during COVID, the big thing that you guys did was you opened the.
Yeah.
the-
So
the-
so I was always like ahead of COVID. So
What do you mean
I
ahead of
love-
COVID?
I love-
What do you mean ahead? You
so
had to
I always like I'm a news person. You know, I love to read the news and I like to see.
So
what's
you
going
felt
on
like
around
you were ahead of the
world.
curve. You knew what you were
I
confident.
knew it was coming. So before
That's fair.
before he came, I went to my or partners for like loans and stuff, and I got a $60,000 personal, not a personal loan, like a credit line. That thankfully I never had to use it. You know, it was there.
How did you get your credit line?
I got it through Acción at the time, but they changed to Allies of Community, which is a organization that helps business and do guidance and do a lot of things.
Similar to AB, similar to the.
The SBA,
Yeah, the SBA.
they actually helped in Chicago. They were the ones that gave the most loans through businesses and everything.
Oh, I didn't even know about Summer Core's a good one too. I know.
So a lot of
That's
banks
good. See,
did it.
business owners don't know that. I didn't even know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I also, since I like helping other business owners with like consulting and stuff.
Yeah.
I like the consulting is like or other side of the business too.
Yeah, that's
And-
important. Not a lot of people know where to get money from and how to get funded.
I don't. That's why I've been fucking.
You
reaching
took a
out
different
to-
route though. You
Yeah.
you
I mean, I
went
had
with
good friends and
investors.
good people,
You went
yeah.
investors. I went bank route. You know, that's similar to him. I went with the
Yeah.
banks. Hey,
So-
what number
yeah.
did you need to see?
So you got the $60,000 line of credit
So
because
I
you
got
knew
a
the shit was gonna hit the
I got a
fan.
60,000 line of credit, and
What was the?
So
Wait, before
before-
you go into this, what was the news that you read that made you made that decision?
so we were sitting at our home and we started seeing something in China that they're closing some cities because of something that's
Yeah.
coming. And I was like, oh, and I started talking to my fiance. I was like, hey, it seems that they were talking about COVID, but I didn't know what it was, and so I started like reading about like outbreaks and things, and I was like, oh, weird. So I went. I wanted to get. I was going to do a rehab on the restaurant. I make it look like
Sick. Yeah.
nothing like no, there's nothing
Whoa,
on the
whoa, whoa.
neighborhood kind of thing.
What's
So
your rent now? I mean, if you're going to put this money into the building, are you buying the building
Wait,
yet
wait,
for
no,
this
so-
guy?
I just wanted to make it nicer.
Yeah.
I was like,
So you're putting this in your own self, your
I
own
like-
money
I
just
like
to make it
to-
nice.
Well, this
I
is what he was gonna do before
So-
COVID hit.
Yeah, with his own money though. You
Yeah,
weren't going to
yeah.
buy the building to do these innovations. You were just going to do these
He was gonna
innovations,
rock it in there.
rock it in there, and not
Right,
own the
right.
building still.
Not on the building, just
Okay.
make it nice, make it like unique. But I like to change with the neighborhood, you know. So as the neighborhood is changing, I like to invest to make it nicer and nicer every time. And I was getting ready because I didn't want to like spend all my money, and you know what I mean. Because when I always
You got to
invested
keep
all
your
my
safety
money.
net. I know. You got
Yes.
you got your money you can spend, your safety net, and your other safety net no one knows
Yes.
about.
Yeah, you got to do that. And so I was ready to do that, but then I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna stop any investments. And before I did, I went for the loan. When COVID hit, I had like zero debt.
Yep.
You know, like no debt to anything, no debt to
Yeah.
no nothing.
So
I was like-
you're kind of
so I was ready. I felt comfortable.
you're ready
like-
for it.
Like I was ready to do that investment to rehab the restaurant and do
yeah.
everything. And
You're
I was like-
financially ready. You were financially
then
set up. You got a strategy.
when he hit, I was like, okay, I'm happy. I have that the safety net right there, just in case I need it.
The
Never-
60,000, right?
Because you didn't need the
60,000, but I
60,000.
also-
That was going to make you for the next
had-
year if you needed.
I grabbed those 60,000 because I also had another 60,000 for another company, another 30 for another company. So I have a lot of credit lines
Yeah.
that I don't use. Sometimes I use them for like 3,000 and I pay it back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
dude,
man. That's
you know what
that's
I
the
mean?
business skill set. Has nothing to do with
And,
food at that point.
But so when it hit, they clothesline in. They were like, okay, what do I do to start selling again? So we were doing a lot of
Deliveries and
a
pickups.
lot of pickups and deliveries, and we actually got busier of what we were doing before summer. So before summer, when it was cold, like May, you know, in April,
When you're still,
May,
when all the business was still adapting, I feel like you guys
yeah,
all
so we adapted
quick.
really well.
Yeah.
We started doing pickups to Castrop that came out that year. We were like the third restaurant that joined them.
What was the name of the app?
Castrop, they're amazing. If you own a business, you should use Castrop, by the way.
Cash drop.
Castrop. So it's basically, it's like a payment processor, like a website
Yeah.
that allows you to take payments without you paying the 3% fee. That normally, you know, like
So who's paying the 3%?
the customers pay for it.
They just don't know.
No, they do know. It's just a convenience fee, because GrabHub charges 15% to the customers to do pickups, to do deliveries, and
So maybe you got to start using that app. That
it's amazing. It helps
So
out a lot.
what? I don't sell food.
It's a convenience.
No, for you to
It's a
buy through that app.
convenience-
So
it's
that
a
you can buy from,
convenience
like,
way
Restaurants.
To
for
help
you
the
to
restaurant.
order. It helps the restaurants, and it helps.
Oh, so you order directly
Dumb.
from the restaurant?
Yeah, you order directly to the restaurant without using all these crazy apps. And it took us a little bit because we have to integrate technology and learn how to use it. But now we love it because I'd rather have people call me in the restaurant. I'd rather
You
I'd
can
rather
connect-
have
you can
people.
connect with the person.
Yeah, literally, you see the menu, you order, and then we just go print, and it prints to the kitchen, and the food comes out faster. Through the phone, you have to go place a call, the order, so it takes a longer time.
Wow.
It's really. So we adapted that, and
And then you built
when
the
summer came, we built the outdoor. So the money that I was going to invest in doing the renovation, I was like, hey, the patio cost like $7,000 to do. But then I was a little skeptical. Like, we're doing really well with deliveries and all that stuff, and let's just not change anything, because I was like, I'm not gonna spend $7,000 knowing that I don't know how it's gonna be.
What's your next big move? Being a business owner, you learn things sometimes that's not scalable. Sometimes you realize it is scalable. You know that you cannot sustain staying here. What's your next big move to get to the next level?
Was the next move?
Or what is the next level? Yeah.
It could be growing your company, multiply times 2. I asked you earlier. Maybe it's moving to a larger space, or maybe it's investing in the real estate that you're owning. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to grow yourself.
So
Your next step.
I would love to open another one, but with the knowledge that I have, the knowledge that I have learned, I want to help other businesses be successful. So I know there's some businesses that struggle and they don't know what I know, so I can make the business be successful with the knowledge that
That you have already.
I have already.
That's like a consultant.
So instead consulting, yes. So instead of opening other restaurants, I can see consulting for those businesses being more profitable.
So you want to be a consultant. So business isn't your end goal.
Opening more restaurants is not.
It's not your end goal.
I can help you open an Arepa George.
So that's interesting.
So I can put you into business and make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know,
But you're not gonna open another restaurant.
somebody else will.
Yeah, no.
And I'll
That's
fish and
it's
everything.
key to know.
You know.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, this is our first business move because it'll be on camera, so now they know.
Well, that's
that
what
this
you
guy
build
can
So
help
if you're
up.
interested about opening a restaurant,
Yeah, here we go.
contact me. And
That's
get you
how-
one open.
business consultant. That's
And
why.
one of our goals is to have one of our employees train
Run.
them, open their own,
And help them get
Help
So
them
you're
set up.
helping your employees be business owners too by learning them, but eventually maybe one can take yours over. I'm like that. I always want someone to take over my job that I'm working with. I always, you can do my job now. I can leave. Are you waiting for that?
I do. It's really hard to find great people.
Yeah.
I pay people very well. You know, like
No, it's still hard to have someone think like a business
maybe
person.
3 times. Some people that make 3 times the amount of like a regular restaurant
Yeah,
person.
because they know everything well.
Maybe 4
and make
times.
your job.
No,
Well,
yeah,
it can be
because
fun.
most of the time, what are servers making usually?
Oof, I don't know. So if a typical like server hourly is like $8, but I always pay like
I always pay
way-
more too to keep people happy. To keep
Tips,
people around.
bonuses, you bonus them on different.
Yeah. like we do hourly and we do bonus, and then we do free food. We do free paydays. You know, like I work
Whatever
on
you
them
can do to
depending
keep 'em happy.
depending on how they do. I reward them.
That's good. That's good that you do that.
You know, and whenever we have a great week. So if I have I believe that if I do well, I want my employees to do well. You know, and I know, you know who's doing the job. You know, like you as a owner, you know who's
Yeah,
pulling
for
through.
sure.
And I always take care of the people that pull through. Like you do extra, I'll give you extra. You know, if you do the minimum, you get the minimum.
I feel like a lot of business owners, myself included, try to think like that, and I think I sound like you sound when I talk, and I don't think that sometimes my employees would say that. My old employees, I think some would. Do you feel that same way?
I feel like I consider myself a very nice person. So, and I have helped a lot of people, you know, and I've been screwed up many times too, you know, like I help people like get apartments, make sure they get their internet, light, everything. I'm like, hey, give you a loan, just pay me back whenever you can, and they screw me up. They go to La La Land, you know, and you learned, and then when the next person comes and asks for help, I'm like, you think about
It's
it.
a bummer. It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's hard, you
It's
know,
tough.
to kill those bridges. Like, don't do this, don't do that, and that's the first thing they do. You know.
So the same, you're the same. Some of your guys will probably have a great story with you. Others maybe left. And
Yeah, but even though when they leave, they know they're leaving a great job, and a lot of them come back too.
I've had guys come back too.
If you leave in a good standing, you're rehireable. I'll rehire you again because it's actually cheaper for me to like train people. You know, like trainings and
Have you ever had an employee where you're like, this guy, it's him. It is this person. I'm done with it.
There's nothing you
nothing
can
I
do.
can do here anymore.
So I had one of the best guidance in the kitchen, like one of our best chefs that taught us a lot of things. Like he was awesome. Like he was the best. He was like he would tell me I need this done. I need.
Tell you what to do. Tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I need this, and that. I'll be there in 5 minutes with the items that he needed, like right away. Boom. He needed this, I'll be there. But I don't know, like, I think he like got something on his head and thought that he was the best. He was the king, and
Then he turned
I
toxic.
was he turned very toxic, and I had to fire him on the spot.
Yeah, that's what happens.
You
I've
know,
had that, yeah.
and I have never fired anybody on the spot, but this happened like during COVID. We were busy because we opened, so we're open the patio, and then we did a window too to be able to
Open up the
have
inside,
the inside as well. So we had the full patio open, the inside open, so that's about like 60 seats.
You double in here, you
So,
double in there.
yeah.
You got deliveries going on.
So
you
I
double
had So we were like,
catering.
what are we gonna do? And then he came in at 12 to work, and then he went to lunch at 12:30.
What do you want? He started acting like he did what he wanted
Well,
to
we
do.
were
Yeah,
busy,
yeah.
as heck. So he comes in to work at 12, and he goes to lunch at 12:30. No, like, where did he go? I thought he was going to the
You
store.
think it's a joke almost, right?
He was going to the store. I was like, oh, maybe they ran out of like salt or something.
You start thinking there's no way this is happening.
And then he comes out with food. I'm like,
Is he doing a delivery?
It was your food, right? Or it was
I was
somebody
like,
else?
where are you going? Oh, I'm going to lunch.
It was your food, or it was?
No, it was
somebody-
his food.
Oh shit!
It was his food. He's going to lunch because he was hungry because he came at 12:30.
That's his fault.
So and he started at 12, and we were busy. Like we
He
needed.
could have
a
eaten
hand.
at 11:30.
So
So I
how
have to
did-
stop what I was doing, and I went and had a talk. I'm like, hey, it's gonna continue.
Pissed
like,
you off.
but
So you do have talks when it piss you off.
So I let her get to like a lot of things happen, and I should fire you here, but then I tell you like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and then another time, hey, I told you, add less tomato, and then you add more tomato. Like it's like you tell somebody like, hey, you're making it too salty, and then add more salt. You know what I mean? Like you
It
start
is the
doing
person.
things.
It is the person
It is the
at this point, right?
Yeah.
So how did it go down? How did the?
So I just went and I talked to him. I wanted to like literally scream, like off my lungs. Like,
So you do have a crazy side. Every business owner does.
And I wanted to, but then we were busy, and I'm a reserved person. Like I don't like to like scream and do a show or anything like that. But then I was like, hey, are you happy or you're not happy? Like, what's going on? I'm like, oh. I was like, well, if you're not happy, you fire me. You know what? Just leave.
Yep.
Don't even clock in. Thank you. Thank you for everything you taught us. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Come get your check this day, and that's it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
The fuck just happened?
what? I was like, yeah. You just fired me. I was like, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can leave. And then after that,
It's a weird
great.
feeling. Every time I fire someone, it goes on. I go in my office and I feel really bad. I'm not like.
Did you
"Yeah."
feel bad that day about firing him?
you know what? I felt like since it became toxic, it was a good thing that happened. And
And how did you adjust? You just jump in the kitchen yourself?
I can be in any position.
Your other employees were like, "Whoa, he just fired what's his face?" Like,
So since we use the technology of cash wrap, so cash wrap allows people to like order from the table. So you go in their app, and then you order from the table. So whenever something happens and you're on the patio, we use the patio cash wrap only, and then we don't need a waiter over there.
Everyone one person knows everything.
We explain to customers, they understand and they order through the thing, which is really easy. We love. Like in the future, it's gonna be like that. People come in, there's not gonna be menus. People are just gonna go on
menus
their
are already
phones.
out.
Yeah. So they're gonna come and order from their phones, and then we bring their food, and everybody's happy. You know what I mean? That's eventually is gonna be going towards that direction. It takes time.
So we're gonna get rid of the server.
No, because you still have to explain the menu, give recommendations.
Well, I mean, not really. What about the patron that already knows your menu and that's gonna order before he comes even sits down now because you have that app. He can order 10 minutes before he knows it takes 15 minutes.
And that's the thing. So the people that use it save a lot of time. Because if you don't want to wait,
he's cutting out the server.
30, 35. No, because the server still needs to.
They make the experience. They make the experience.
Yeah, they make the experience.
To me, I'm thinking
so
their mind doesn't got anything.
I love to think like the Fogo de Chao. There's no servers. They're just the people that helps you out and like bring food.
I'm tipping a little less. Just as
they help the experience.
I'm being honest. I'm in my head.
But see, Tyler's more going to get the job done.
So
I'm more of the experience.
I paid my employees per hour. So I gave them a good hourly paid, and all the tips goes into bonuses. So if you give good tips, then everybody's getting, the kitchen's getting a good.
Yeah, it's just the way you run things. You do hourly like that. That's fine.
Because I believe tipping is gonna go away eventually.
I do too with that.
The restaurant is not a tipping restaurant because you can have all takeout orders.
Tipping's going away. I like that.
And I can see it going away. So
it's just getting put in the cost of the food. It's not going away. It's just getting put in the cost of food to bring them to an hourly wage.
If you come to the restaurant for like 5 people more, it should be added.
I agree because that is a lot of work.
Because sometimes we have like a table of like 3. They spend $100 and something, but they don't give a tip. So imagine you as a server how you feel like 160, 170, and then you don't give anything, and it's a culture thing that we deal in the restaurant. Yeah. So that's why I want to take care of, like I said, take care of my people.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so then. Like Tyler said, so basically next is for you is so you're a consultant, so you don't really not looking into growing the restaurant.
I want to help any kind of business growth because
he's a business guy.
We have the foundations and we can help you get to the level where you want to be.
I'm a business, so you are more of a creator. You probably like the process of creating it. And then once it's going, you're like, hey, I've established this. My creativity needs to go elsewhere. This works. It's proven. Let's go somewhere.
So, for example, I can help you with your business. What do you have? What do you need help with?
Yeah.
What do you struggle with?
That's an in-depth question. It's more about you. But I have a few companies. I have different struggles in each company. Maybe relationship, maybe my employees versus high-end versus low end. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have struggles. I have weaknesses. I have anger problems.
So
they're all there.
It's identifying. I always love to identify the struggle, and find help for you, and need what help you.
I don't have a problem. I can come up with you and go, this is this. Give me a solution. I'm going to tell you a story with some fucked up outcome, and you're like, how do I not let that outcome happen again? Because I kind of got a good feel for business, and not that my ego talking, but I think that I'm very comfortable with giving people business advice too. So I would listen to yours, but sometimes I'm like, what are you going to tell me that I don't already know? Which is not the right way to be, but sometimes that's how I am. And so I am open-minded, but it's better to let you know. Tell me what I don't know.
You know what I think about? Everything comes down to logistics. Everything is logistics.
What do we talk about all the time? It's never about the product. It's about getting it there or getting the person to show up. It has nothing to do with the product.
It is.
It's everything about getting the employee.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, like your guy that didn't show up on time, and then he went to a lunch break. That's affecting the logistics of how food's getting to the table.
And I think you're exactly right on that.
Sometimes we have so much orders that it's like, I cannot find anybody to deliver it, and I paid $100 for the food to get delivered to my
I
house.
am on the same boat, and it's like this had nothing to do about the product. The product works. It's the way I'm running the company of getting the logistics to them, and I agree 100% on that. And I say it and I preach it. And thanks for making me realize that I'm not fucking crazy.
Yeah. So it's basically like consultant, not looking to open another restaurant, but you'd be open to like more catering business, right?
Catering
If the
business.
if the catering side grows,
I'm opening to open other restaurants with our name and teaching them everything, like doing a franchise, but not me personally being there, like helping other people.
But how about the catering side? If it takes off, it keeps growing. That you're open to that, right?
Oh yeah, catering is amazing. Catering is the way to go.
You still like that roots business model.
Yes, I love the catering, especially now during COVID, that a lot of companies are ordering food for their employees and to keep them happy, to make them come to the office. You know, it's to have them stay a little.
It's
bit
good to
longer.
know there's a business consultant out there that at least ran a business before. I've talked to guys.
Oh yeah,
And
these
I'm
guys,
like,
these
what-
financial advisors that contact me all the time.
Go out and they're wearing
Man.
suits at the bar.
And I'm like, what are you
and
guys talking about? Like, you're not gonna financial advice.
Yeah.
You went to college.
That's kind of like the attitude I was trying to explain, like before. When you're like, you know, what do you need to know? And I was like, man, business consultants sometimes told me that before, and I'm like, so how many business have you started? And they're like, oh, I haven't had one before. How the fuck are you going to tell me how to open my business, man? And
Yeah.
you never even made
No, you know, a lot of people try to give you advice, but they don't have a business. I'm like, oh, you should run this like this.
They got to
and
know it's
that.
like that 15 refrigerators and not one giant walk-in. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
have 15 little refrigerators. In
because
their
that's
mind,
the problem that you got to solve. The problem is like he knows how to solve the
No,
problem.
I know,
already,
I
you
know how to solve the problem, but then I need to. It's cheaper for me to like not rent the other space.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As a
And-
consultant, you already know these solutions because, like, you know, let's say you're hiring a theoretical consultant. Well, yeah, it's great that you know the theory behind it, but what if you?
That's all they
but What
are.
about when the real problems start to happen? What do we
They
do
don't
then?
know. When you're a person, there's a language barrier and an age barrier, and he's 70, 80 years old, and you can't even communicate with the guy. That's the first problem in the business relationship, and you're going in there, well, your sales say X amount, you know, we probably should increase the profit, we'll make more money there. You know, they start this getting analytical and looking at graphs, and that's not the reality sometimes. It's talking to the person.
That's pretty. It looks good. but
It
it's
looks
not the
good,
reality.
and it's numbers. Numbers don't lie. Here's what you made this year. Here's what you made this year. We think if you tweak this, we can adjust that. For sure. I can tell you that, too, if I look at a stock graph based off the commercials I watched on the CEO doing some kind of party, you know, on the weekend. Same shit. That's all they're doing. So they're really not holding a value to me. And so I laugh them out of the fucking room. Well, they don't even get in a room with me. I laugh them at the bar, and they're looking at me like, you're a prick. I'm like, I know I'm a prick, but you're an asshole for thinking that you're going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
When I just told you I own a couple companies and you don't even own one, and you tell me how to fucking consult it.
Yeah.
That really grinds me up.
Yeah, and I think it's just staying ahead of everybody.
Ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the curve. If you notice that something's happening or anything, I always everything can change.
Staying
You
in your
know,
lane's
and
important too.
it's-
Like you know catering really well. You're always sticking close to catering. That's your lane.
Yeah, because if you can sell $15,000 worth of food in one day,
I was thinking about starting a
You
catering
know?
company when you told me that 15,000 a day. I'm like, well, shit, dude, that ain't bad numbers.
I mean, you go from 80 a day.
Well, you're telling me 80
You
bucks
know,
a day, but I know what those days feel like too.
It was very tough. Like literally, you have no idea. Like, especially at the time when people think that you're doing really well because you open a restaurant, you have a business, and it's like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
that's
you're
all I
doing really-
have. I have a business.
So you're
All
doing
I got
really well.
is working hamster wheel, and as soon
You
as
know?
my hamster jumps off, I ain't got shit.
Yeah.
That's it, you know.
Well, good for you, man. I mean, you got a good story, man. We appreciate you sharing it with us. I guess, you know, if you're, you know, for all the viewers out there, if you're visiting Chicago, the Chicagoland area, what's the name of the restaurant?
It's called Arepa George. We're located in North Avenue in Kedzie. We have come out multiple times in the Chicago Tribune. Before we finish, we have the second best dish in Chicago to break your diet. If you want to break your diet, we're one of the places to go.
What's the name of it?
It's called La Bandeja Paisa.
La Bandeja
So
Paisa.
that was really funny because we were
a very
trying.
traditional
So this
Colombian
is
dish.
so publicity gets to you in a funny way sometimes. We were trying to be as healthy as possible, doing everything with like healthy items,
Vegan.
healthy everything. Vegan.
Yeah.
We're the only Colombian vegan restaurant too. So if your partner is vegan and you love steak, you can both enjoy
A meal.
That we
Yeah.
change our arepas to the vegan. We used to add cheese to them. Now they're vegan. Or beans are vegan and so on. But anyway, so we were trying to
Be very healthy.
be very healthy,
Yeah.
and we came out to have the second best dish to beat that, which is the one they have paisa, the most famous, and a lot of people from downtown, from out of state, come to try it. And
So it's Kedzi and what?
Ketty and North Avenue.
Kedzi and North Avenue, Arepa George.
We're gonna come out with some awesome items for the summer.
So
Maybe
we're
you
ready.
can sample them at our Mario Party coming up on May
Yeah.
14th.
Mario Party coming up
May
May 14th.
at 3 p.m. It's a lunchtime. Maybe we can get some empanadas here, some
Let's do it.
homemade
Yeah, so here it
empanadas.
is. We're creating it right now. We're creating it right now. It's going to be the Mario Party, 3 o'clock on, what's the
May
date?
14th.
May 14th.
Come play Mario Party, eat empanadas, drink drinks, full service bar, bartenders, vodka sodas, smoking this stuff, all kinds of good stuff
Yeah,
going on.
so subscribe to the channel. You got to subscribe to for our YouTube channel. Go to our website. Make sure that you follow us on our website. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Look up Arepa George.
Follow us. Arepa
Follow
George.
them on their social media. We'll be tagging all of the different companies on our social media, and that way you can sign up for the Mario Kart party. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have fun, and yeah, man.
Empanadas.
Anything you want to add, Kiefer? Nothing. We covered all the bases. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
no, for sure.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.